Today on Metaphysical Mississippi, we've got Dottie Prestel. She's a holistic practitioner who specializes in touch therapy. She has an event, Be the Flow with Jin Shin Jitsu, coming up December 2nd at Hands of Earth Energy in McGee, Mississippi. So we'll hear more about that, so stick around. Hey, Dottie. So happy you're here with me tonight.
Yes, me too. I am thrilled. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Emily.
Yes, it is. We have been trying to line up our schedules for a while now. And I'll share that if there's a little bit of a cough here, I might cough a little. I'll make it. But we're going to persevere because this is our time at the moment.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much.
Yes. We spent some time this weekend getting to know each other at a retreat, and it was just a delight to. I'd never been on one before,
Oh,
really
wow.
in that kind of setting, and it was just wonderful to get to know you better.
Yeah,
And
and you too.
yes, and I'm excited to get to know you even better now.
Well, I enjoyed your class. Emily did a class, how to tell your story, and we had a lot of good, meaningful conversation. It was really good.
Yes, I think I probably learned more from the class than I expected I would.
Teaching is like that. It is like that. When we teach, we learn a lot.
And learning is something that you shared.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is something that you've taken notice of.
Mm-hmm.
That
Throughout
you
my
can.
life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Dottie, you are a holistic practitioner, are a licensed massage therapist, a Jin Shin Jitsu certified practitioner, and I'm sure there's a few more in there. Why don't you share a little bit about what you
Okay.
do currently? And your business is
One River Wellness.
as well. So what brought you into uh massage?
Okay. Well, it turned out that I really had a knack for massage. I naturally would give friends massages. It just came natural to me. I really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Nobody asked for it. It was just something that just kind of I couldn't not do. I just really enjoyed it. And one day somebody said, "Hey, why don't you do that for a living?" And I was like, I didn't even know it was a profession. I didn't grow up in a touchy-feely home. I didn't know anything
Yeah.
about it. So I started researching it, and I ended up in the Atlanta School of Massage in Georgia, taking a clinical sports massage class with treating and assessing injuries, a 6-month full-time class. Yeah. Now, this was back in 95, so there's no regulation at this time in Mississippi. So this is just something I moved forward and did. I have a background in exercise physiology, and so it just seemed like a natural progression to go into this style of massage.
Yeah. So yeah, well, it wasn't. So you hadn't pulled in the woo woo yet.
Well, the
This,
interesting thing is, right. Well,
yeah,
it's funny because I think about it. In the day I was registering for school in Atlanta, I literally called my mom and I was like, there's this energy program. What should I do? And I had no clue. It just, even then, it was like, she's like, well, Dottie, with your background, it only makes sense, that you would get into pain and injuries and sports massage. So that's what I did. And
yeah,
it served me well. I grew my business. And while I was working, I was at the Courthouse Racquetball Club on Lakeland, and I just kept feeling all this stagnant energy. I didn't have any windows. I was just constantly, I got a hold of the book, Hands of Light, and I was learning how to clear, and I was ringing bells and, clearing the energy. And I just really didn't know what to do. And I knew I wanted to take a class. And so I landed in a class in Colorado called High Touch Jinshin. No idea what I was getting into, literally, no idea. And it was a weekend class, and it was a lot. I mean, it's really fascinating. And I ended up taking a second class the next year, part 2. And the one thing I really remember a lot about this class, Emily, was that anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. So here is this complex work that anybody can do. But as a deep tissue massage therapist, I had a really difficult time incorporating this gentle touch.
Ah,
And
so it kind of it it causes you have to be a little more controlled, huh?
well,
When
it
you
was it was I had been doing the deep for so long, that's what my clients were used to. That's what I was used to. What quite frankly, I didn't know if it worked or not. I'd never, I didn't believe in it. I didn't have the faith in it. So that was really the biggest part of the issue. I was so used to getting those results and doing that deep. And it was really through my personal use. The wonderful thing about Jinshin is it is also a self-help. And so not only as a practitioner, it's a big self-help. We also do ourselves. And so there was this time I had a back ahead headache, and I did everything to get rid of it. I got a really good myofascial release massage. I got cold pack. I did yoga. I did everything, and I could not get rid of this ache right here. And I said, well, I'm going to break out that book. And I got out the book and I flipped to the back, and I was like, back ahead headache, liver flow. So I laid down and I worked my way through the liver flow, and my headache was gone. And I've had a number of experiences like this where it worked when nothing else did. And then I still had difficulty giving the sessions because, yeah, I learned very early on with massage how to be still, because I would sit there and just hold somebody's head. And massage requires a lot of patience, oddly.
yeah.
It's got a lot of patience with you. And so I ended up having a severe allergic reaction to a prescription drug that a nurse practitioner really wanted me to take. And I tell you, my digestion shut down the next day. My body began to deteriorate. I had no energy. I couldn't sleep. I had severe insomnia. And I did like a deep dive crash course in Jinshin. And I got a hold of Stephanie Mine's books, and I learned how to really regenerate my body, how to sleep. I could rest and sleep, even if I didn't sleep, I would do my Jinshin self-help, and I could rest, and it would quiet my mind. And I barely slept. And if I did, it was only because of that. And if I didn't sleep, I just laid there doing the energy work, and I didn't stress out. And so I really learned a lot. And I could go on about different stories and adversities in my life that had me going deeper and deeper. And I was in a position where I needed to do something more gentle work with my clients. And so I started doing Jinshin with my clients with massage. It was kind of a leap of faith, but that's what I could do. And the interesting thing that I learned was that my clients had deeper experiences, relaxation. The session lasted longer. They got more results than just massage alone. And so that's what I do. It's kind of like East meets West. I combine the massage and the different modalities that I've learned with Jinshin. Now, I say Jinshin, so I studied high touch Jinshin. I came in the door of high touch Jinshin. And then later I found out that its mother's name was Jinshin Jitsu. Now,
Oh.
yeah. And Jin, like Jin Rummy, Shin, like your bone, your bone, and then Jitsu. And Jinshin Jitsu translates as the art of creator working through compassionate being. So the word Jin is, I like to say the art of compassionate being.
Oh.
It's also a philosophy. Its philosophy is effortless reality. And we are one, and that we're all connected, and that sort of thing. Are you okay?
And I'm taking just a moment because I'm trying to level up my breathing.
Yeah, so you may want to slow down too. You want to I think the
Yeah.
ring finger, you can wrap your ring finger. That helps with your breath. You can hold your ring finger while you sit there. Drop the shoulders and exhale all the way, allowing your shoulders to gently drop, letting go, and naturally receiving a breath without effort, receiving the breath, and then exhaling all the way down the front, letting go, letting the breath be natural.
Oh, that is helpful.
Good.
That is very helpful.
Yeah, that ring fingers really helps the breath.
Because the cough almost wanted to come, but then I was able to kind of ease through it.
Everything's okay. Everything's going to work out. If it doesn't work out, we'll reschedule or we can edit and everything's okay.
I usually don't make guests wait on me so long. So, yeah, thanks for your patience.
You bet. I would recommend just straight water. I don't know. I know that asthma can be related to dehydration.
Oh, well, I am definitely dehydrated.
Well,
I mean, I don't have I had allergies. I have seasonal
yeah.
allergies.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and you took in a lot of smoke. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
And but I do take an asthmatic type of thing every day to help with during this time of year. I didn't
I
take
mean,
it.
this is why I say it. I have a cup of tea and I have some water. And when I take a drink of the tea, I feel it, like I feel it in my throat. But when I drink the water, it's much smoother.
So what is
Shin
Jin
and Jitsu. And
Jitsu?
we can affectionately call it Jinshin.
Jinshin.
Yeah, Jinshin. And so it is a energy system that is around 5,000 years old, and it was rediscovered in Japan by a gentleman named Jerome Arai. He was, a traditional story we hear even amongst other systems.
Right.
Yeah, he was dying, and he asked his family to take him to the mountain cabin so he could die and to collect his body in 7 days. And so he went to the mountain cabin and he fasted and he went in and out of consciousness, and he had studied throughout the years, he had studied these mudras, these Tibetan Buddhist mudras. And so he would copy and mimic these mudras. And over the course of 7 days, he went in and out. And on the seventh day, He'd also been getting very cold, and on the 7th day, his body heated up, and when it cooled down, he was completely healed, and he fell to his knees, and he thanked his creator, and he dedicated. Emily, he studied for 50 years, and he was intense. He would study the homeless population in Kyoto, and he would take if that person had an ear project, he would do ears and stomach, and he would document. In Jinshin Jitsu, we use the word projects instead of problems. We stay away from labels. And that's because the labels create fear, and it's the fear. Even Mary Burmeister talks about it's the fear that actually really destroys us and not the actual disease. And so we use project.
Yeah, I think you're so right with that. Wow. So he was healed, and then the 50 years was after he was healed.
Yes,
He was
he
active.
studied. He studied everything from Tibetan medicine to Indian medicine, Native American, the Bible, the Kajoki, Chinese. It's like a amalgamation of all these systems. And I really am drawn to the 5 Chinese elemental theory, the water element, the fire element, the air, and so forth. And I'm also really drawn to the numerology for the metaphysical friends. It's very steeped in numerology and astrology, and it includes tones and seasons, and it's just this incredible lifelong study if you want it. But that's not for everybody, but it just fascinates me. And so what I do is what I'm called to do is not only provide a one-on-one session to help others. I like to teach classes and make it real simple and put this in people's hands, because it has helped me through so much, with every adversity or stress or trauma. My self-help, Jinshin. I was looking at this the last couple of days, thinking about this and what you shared in the class about that thread and that emotion, and I was like, it is learning, because part of it's learning. Like everything I've gone through, I just dig deeper. When I was in my late teens, I read something I really resonated with, and that is, when the body presents with the symptom, there's something deeper going on physically, mentally, spiritually. And so throughout my life, when something happened, I didn't just grab a Band-Aid. I went deeper and learned everything I could in my path, whether it was essential oils, color therapy, sound therapy, food as medicine, herbs. And I'm no expert in those fields, but I've collected, a lot of experience and knowledge with it.
It may be similar to when I Google, when do you call a doctor?
Yeah, there is a time and place for everything. Absolutely. My aim is to support others on their journey, regardless of what other choices they make. I'm here to support whatever modalities they choose for themselves. And I'm very open to that. And I support people to meet people where they are. And
I was having a little bit of a cough attack earlier. And what you shared with me was to grab was it the ring finger?
The ring finger. You were having trouble kind of breathing. You had an attack earlier. And so we hold the ring finger to help the breath. It helps harmonize the lung and the large intestines.
And I'm amazed at it helped open up my throat. So thank you for that. It's
You're
just so
welcome.
simple. I didn't pull out my brown bag and breathe in it yet, but then, my husband Googled real quick and got me some hot tea, and it helped.
Yes.
But, why do we mistrust simple techniques?
I'm so glad you asked that. That's such a great question, because that's something that I say is, the simplicity that we've lost touch with healing. Our culture has complicated the living daylights out of it. And of course, that's a complex subject, there's not really time to go into with that. but it is about getting back to the basics. And with Jinshin, it's as simple as holding a well, it's the innate wisdom of the body, and that's what we're tapping into. We're tapping into the innate wisdom of the body, and it's very intuitive. When I was little, when I was a baby, I sucked my thumb while I was harmonizing anxiety and my digestion.
Yeah.
And so now we wrap the thumb instead of sucking our
Yeah.
thumb. So
No,
it's
you
very,
make
and that's what I love about it. So in Jinshin Jitsu, it utilizes 26 bilateral energy sites on the body. I call them
Mhm.
energy centers. They're also called safety energy locks. And so we use our hands like jumper cables and we place them on these potent energy sites in very specific sequences, and it opens the flow of energy. And so when we open the flow of energy, our body then begins to repair, rebuild, replenish that energy. And so it's based on that principle that there is a life force of energy flowing through us in very specific circulation pathways, just like our nervous system, our circulatory system. Whereas an acupuncturist uses needles, we use our fingertips and hands. So it's very gentle and it's very penetrating at the same time. And so, but then as we open the pathways, the body naturally adjusts. One of my favorite things about it is I can quiet my mind.
Oh, wow.
I can
That
literally, yeah. And my clients, I think that's one of its greatest gifts is its ability to slow down and quiet the mind and allow the body to deeply relax. And I believe that's what we need so desperately right now is to truly relax, where the mind is quiet, the physical tension is gone, and we're just naturally tuning in to what our bodies were created to do, to be in harmony. And so it's so much more than just the physical. It's the messages of the body. It gets into that too. So there's a lot into it. It's very in depth. And so you learn a little bit of that at the class, and it's mental and emotional and physical benefits.
well, now I want to come.
Why not? Come on. We've got some folks already signed up. So I offer one-on-one sessions of Jinshin Jitsu, and I also offer it combined with massage, which is a wonderful combination. I have different modalities. I've studied with John Barnes, myofascial release. One of my things I'm really loving right now that I offer is Thai foot reflexology.
Oh, I love. Yeah, I need to come and.
Have you ever had a foot massage, Emily?
Uh, Not really. Somebody would just play, but not a real professional one.
It's
Not
all
by,
good.
not by an expert.
Well,
I play pussy, but
any good loving touch is good.
yeah, no,
It's really nice. Yeah. So top foot reflexology is so I'm spending almost an hour below the knees, and I have a good warm up, and there's 7,200 sensory nerves in the bottom of the feet. And so the nerves are connected to your organs and all of your body parts. So by very specifically working on the feet, we literally work the entire body. And the thing that sets Thai foot reflexology apart from other reflexology is that we use a stick. We warm up with our hands, then we go in with a wooden stick and we work those areas of the organs in a very specific way.
Now, would you have a different effect if it was if it wasn't wood, if it was plastic, or if it was metal? I'm just
Now,
saying, you think that the wood, because it's from nature, also has
yeah,
a
I
little
think
something.
so. I think so, but I'm biased to that. I mean, I use 100% cotton sheets. I use essential
Yeah,
oils to clean my room. I'm very particular,
yeah.
And, but you could use stones or marble and things like that. I have a marble stick and there's stones. So there are
Yeah.
different, but those are all natural. So, but just, I don't know exactly why it's a stick. I just know that that's what kind of sets it apart with Thai. And so the whole body is treated. And, it's wonderful, and I'm getting some wonderful results and feedback from just all of it. And one of my so let's see. Oh, I know what I was going to share with you a while ago when I was talking about learning. So, you know, our path unfolds the way it is, and we kind of become, how our personal path and what we go through, and then we bring that to the table. And so these last couple of years, I've really been working with the nervous system and helping people with anxiety. It's kind of evolved, you know, that's what happens. We just kind of evolve in that. And finding out more and more people, trouble sleeping, their nervous system is deregulated, they're having trouble relaxing, they're low energy, that kind of thing.
I'm saying, oh yeah, I struggle with well, actually, my energy level's much better because
Good.
I've been doing yoga.
Yay.
So yes, so my
Yes.
energy level, but when you don't have the energy, you don't, and you don't have sleep. I think I take for granted rest. I take it for granted that it is just as important, as doing that project, that I want to do. Instead of like staying up and working on, when I'm saying project, I'm talking about,
Right. I got you.
not a not a not a healing project, but
Right. Yeah, like an
uh
art, yeah.
yeah,
Business project, yeah.
project that I just I'm learning. Emily, go to sleep. And instead of staying up and struggling for 4 hours, just go to sleep and then you can wake up earlier and get it done in two.
It's really true, and I'm glad you said that because that's one of my desires is to help people understand how necessary it is to slow down and take the time to rest. We live in a culture that's just go, 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 produce, 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 consume, 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 and we we're just on that go, and we even measure our self-worth by our productivity of the day. And
Yeah.
when I was going through that debilitating, situation that I was going through, I was very debilitated. I couldn't take out my own garbage. And I remember sitting on the couch and just recognizing, I wasn't producing, and I came face to face with, and I'm still worthy. I'm not producing anything and I'm still worthy and recognizing that. And so, I still can get caught of it like anybody, but, we just taking time to slow down. And that's another thing I love about sharing Jin Shin to others is because when we do rest, when we apply the self-help, it's like magnified. It's like it's enhanced.
Yeah.
It's so much more than just lying there. So it helps us sleep, it helps us restore, it helps us focus, helps us with our memory. Um,
I,
oh,
I,
it's just amazing
yeah.
that.
I love what you said that even though I'm not producing, I'm still worthy.
Mm,
That, oh my goodness. You think about that. I mean, I'm still in high production mode, but I think about all those who do feel limited in keeping up with this fast-paced society because of health issues or um yeah, they're still worthy.
Yeah, and we're just not all created equal with that. I mean, we all have our role, and my role is not to work 40, 50 hours a week. I mean, that's not my place. It's
Yeah.
my other people may not understand that, but I So I pace myself, and I like to feel good
Yeah.
for everybody. I have the joy
Yeah.
and the of working for myself, and I have. And so by working for myself, I've been able to find what works for me and feel good. Um,
Right.
give everybody, you know, be in a good place with everyone, you know.
Right. Because you are holding, well, I know you're letting it work through you, the energy work through you. You're not just the only conductor of that. I mean, maybe conductor's the wrong
Well,
word.
it's not the right word, because with Jin Shin Jitsu, we actually don't channel. We don't channel energy. We're not the doer. We're the beer. And so
Yeah.
we're not doing anything except holding our jumper cable hands on these almost like circuit breakers on the body, opening and harmonizing those pathways that are congested. And so I'm not sitting focused on energy. So I don't get tired from doing Jin Jin. So yeah, that's another great thing about it. I don't have to, I do hold space with love and gratitude, but I'm not being a channel.
Right.
It's the energy within you that I'm balancing. See, we have all the energy we need. It's just all clogged up
Yeah.
and congested. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I
we're,
am unclogging. I think I'm really clogged up.
well, you got your ring finger to hold.
But I'm coming. I'm I'm Drano-ing myself.
That's it.
Yes, I am.
Another thing I really love is empowering others, and that's through the self-help. So everybody I see gets a little gets a stretch or a self-help hold in Jin Shin, or some
Yeah.
type of suggestion to help them, because it's very important that we all participate in our well-being. So a lot of us are having trouble with our necks from looking at our screens.
Oh yeah.
And another thing I've also noticed about looking at when I look at my phone is I also become a little, after a little while, I can become like a little squirrely. I don't know if other people are doing that. So kind of learn that it's shifting us into that fight, flight nervous system. So yeah. And so I've learned that it's really vital to keep our neck open when we want to shift into that rest, digest, and healing nervous system called the parasympathetic nervous system. And so I've learned that it doesn't even have to be painful. It can be so we utilize the energy work of Jin Shin and the massage, and we open up your neck. Everybody that comes in, I open their neck. And I also love doing head massage. I just love giving head massage because it's so much tension in the head and
Yes.
feels so good. I don't know, just and really enjoy I just have the best job. I just have the best job in the world. I'm the luckiest person because I just get to make people feel
Hey, well, I wanted to say that it takes. Admire so much that you are practicing and relying on that for your provision and doing you're doing your passion. That takes a
Absolutely.
lot of guts.
I
It takes
tell
a
you,
lot of courage. It
I
does.
couldn't I don't know what I don't know what I would have done, because even though I had a great education already when I went into massage school, I just couldn't really find my groove. And when I went to massage school, that was it. I mean, I came out of school, hit the ground running. No, not taking a no for an answer. I mean, I never stopped. I was doing house calls that Christmas, and I was moving forward. And I truly believe through my experience that we absolutely are here to discover our gifts, hone our gifts and offer our gifts. And the rest will take care of itself. When we do what we love, it takes care of itself. I
I,
truly believe.
I'm starting to walk that out in my life now too, because I'm tapping into my gifts. And speaking of, you were talking about you were offering massages at Christmas, coming to people's homes. Do you still offer? Do you still offer
Home.
going to clients or meeting them
I
where they are? Or
I did I had a few people I did during the pandemic, but
yeah,
now I do homebound, if you're homebound, because I have a private studio. It's in
yeah,
Ridgeland, and it's so quiet, and I think there's something very medicinal about people being out of their environment and coming into a space that's
yeah,
quiet and peaceful and is not their environment. So so I'm strict on that. I do go to homebound, like I've worked with people with cancer, I've gone to their home, knee surgery, post-knee surgery, those sorts of things. Post-surgery, post-coma. Was working with a person that had been in a coma for a while and they were very stiff in their shoulders. And so I'll do that. I'm also available to host. So I'm teaching this class at Hands of Earth Energy, the one we spoke
oh,
of. Yes, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But I'm also available for you to invite me to your home, to your business, to your retreats, anywhere, that you would like to and my studio, like we can have a private class. I have plenty of room in my studio to have a class if you want to get your friends or your family, a few of y'all together, and you just want to come learn how to, release stress, or if you've got something specific that your family is working with, whether you have an aging parent or an agitated child or dependent, I can come
yeah,
in and I can share you some stuff for you to do for yourself. And then if you like, I can also share how you can comfort your aging parent or your child and some simple things that you can do to help them. In the hospital, I can come and help you, just some intentional touch that's very specific, because a lot of times when our loved ones are sick or hurting, we just feel so helpless. And this is a way that you can just simply do some very simple holds. They don't even have to know you're doing it, and they don't have to believe in it. Because it's energy. It's you know,
but
it's
what you're describing to me, though, is you're demonstrating that they're worthy. These people who are in, yeah,
when I go
that's just
visit. Oh yeah, go ahead.
no, that's just beautiful.
Thank you.
Sharing and pampering and yeah, and just touching
Well,
is
people, there's so much, people can be so agitated and so much anxiety. And so it's like, we can just place our hand on their shoulder and hold a finger. We can just hold their hand. And I think so many of us can be a little self-conscious, even with people we know really close. And so I want to give some confidence to people just you know, to touch, to
yeah,
gently touch. When I
yeah,
visit my mom, I lay up in the bed with her at bedtime, and she has no idea, but I'm specifically holding, I'm doing some holds on her, and
yeah,
she'll take that real deep breath, and I know that she's shifted, into
yeah.
a good place. And so I'm just really passionate that we are empowered with ways to help ourselves relax and release and replenish our energy and quiet our mind and be at ease. So when we're in this place of ease and we're in this place of calm, then we come into our relationships with others, from a place of love and calm. So it starts with us and then it spreads out and it changes everything, you know?
I I'm just thinking this would be like a great gift to give a caregiver as well.
Yes, definitely, definitely, and I'm hoping at some point to do a class for caregivers, or at least one for people with energy, because burnout and so forth.
Yeah,
And I can, and then if somebody wants, to host me, we can, easily do a class. It's so regenerative. It's very regenerative. And it's very restorative. And then there's this, and it's intuitive. Like it made me just think of this hold that's at our groin, the 15s, and it's called Wash Our Hearts with Laughter. And so the numerology lives in our body. And so our body has messages. And so when we do this, like this, like the Van Gogh scream,
Yeah.
it calms mental chatter and it releases the jaws. And
Oh,
so if you clench your jaws, you can hold like this when you go to bed. And so when we utilize the props and we hold our arms up, and it's completely effortless. There's no strain at all. I have a young lady, I work with her jaws, and we do inner mouth work, and we, release her jaws. And the last times she was there, I was like, well, just really prop those pillows up and hold your cheeks.
mhm.
Um, when her husband's away, she has trouble sleeping, but her husband was away. And I said, well, how did you sleep? And she said, I slept. I slept good. So finally, we found something that can help her sleep. Because when we release all that mental chatter, it allows that profound security. And so it's really fascinating.
It is. I'm sitting here just grabbing my me so much. You've been
and
so
so And so whether somebody just wants to hold one finger for the rest of their lives, or if they want to
mhm.
study a little bit more, that's what's so great about it. You don't have to study it as in depth as I do. You can, but I can just share some very simple things. And whether you're a seasoned practitioner or, whatever you do, I meet you where you are and I explain it in a really simple way. And um, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. So the class coming up December 2nd will be in
Yeah,
McGee at Ada Martin's place, Hands of Earth Energy. I'm really excited.
yeah.
Um, and so there'll be a part one and there'll be a part two. And this is something that has evolved in the last couple of years because during the pandemic, it really hit me. It was like, okay, let's take this to the next step. So I've been doing self-help for years. And so I've added the part two where we break out the tables and we apply it on each other.
Oh, it's like a share.
Yeah, it's like a share. And so what we learned in the first class, we do on each other in the second class. And so in the second class, we'll be adapting the holds. And I'm going to teach a couple other holds that will be adapting it. It's going to be really powerful at building the immune system. There's another hold that's really powerful at, you know, shifting and moving trauma out of the body. So because Jinshin is gentleness, like all energy work, is very good at resolving that trauma. So I won't go into a lot into the trauma, but it's also something, I'm going to make it accessible. And then there's a whole sequence I'm going to share. And I always give out handouts. Always.
Oh,
so so you can sign up for part one, you can sign up for part one and part two. And even if you feel like you don't have anybody to apply them to, you get to have the experience, you know.
yes.
So it's really cool. And it just kind of,
I think this would be good for new mothers too.
yes,
You
really
know,
good.
when you can't understand exactly what's uh, your child is communicating, you can try these techniques to
Stephanie
or
Mines, yeah, Stephanie Mines. I recommend her book called We Are All in Shock. It's a wonderful book. She was a student of Mary Burmeister. Mary Burmeister is the Japanese American that Jerome Marai taught, and Mary brought it to America. And she studied for 15 years. And finally, after 15 years of studying, she finally realized, that we just can't know all of this art. No one, we are never the beginner and we are not the master. And she began practicing with people and teaching with people. She also is responsible for developing the self-help version. And I had a really great story when you said pregnancy. And so Stephanie, she has like holds to do during your pregnancy. And I even had the honor of working with a young lady for months who was she was having trouble conceiving. And so her family pitched in and paid for her to come. She was coming twice a week for Jinshin. And, it just continued to confirm that most of the problem that we're having is the stress and the inability to relax. And so I was not only providing her with that ability, I was also doing specific blows. And she became pregnant. Yay! So, sometimes profound, sometimes subtle, but it's always beneficial. And I just want to shout it from the mountaintops. It's just meant so much to me on my path. And, what I've gone through, it's made me resilient. I was thinking today, resiliency is the ability to adapt in the face of adversity and stress and still function. And that's what I've been able to do with everything that I've gone through, is continue to function at a good level. And I owe it to Jinshin. I've just always been drawn to the mystical, and what lies beneath.
Yeah. And well, I'm just thinking, there's just so much I don't know. Like you said, we just don't. There's just so much that we haven't even tapped into out there available for us to
Well,
help
really,
us.
it's in here, it's within us.
Yeah, yes.
It's within us. It's not really out there.
But
And
that's right. I see what you're saying. Yes.
yeah, it's really within us, and it's innate. It's within us. It's just slowing down long enough to listen and to hear.
Yeah. Well, there's one of my favorite sayings is, well, yeah, taking every thought captive, because I think thought has a lot to do with the next decision that you're going to make. Are you going to hold your finger? Are you going to apply those pressure points?
Right. Right. And so, we do have to kind of hijack. Sometimes I call it lassoing our prefrontal cortex,
Yeah.
because we got to get that prefrontal cortex online, that one with the executive decisions and,
Yeah.
making different choices to create change in our life, because those thought patterns have they're well grooved. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, well grooved. So we have to, it's very intentional. It's not easy, when people say, just think positive, it's not always that easy. It's
Right.
giving ourselves grace and giving others grace. And I've learned a lot about that in my life, how to give it to myself and give it to other people. And I know what it took for me to make changes. So I definitely give others grace as well.
Yeah. And I think learning to give it to yourself first, and not just say you give somebody grace out of obligation, but truly give them grace out of understand it.
Yeah. I don't do it perfectly. I definitely do it with people I work with. Like I said, I know what it took me. Pain is there's a saying, pain is the touchstone to change, to growth.
Yeah.
And when we get in the pain, then we get inspired to do something different. And hope, and some of us can take more pain than others, but nowadays I don't like being in that, when I'm in pain, I'm going to do something. I want to do something about it. And so it's about gathering these tools to help us, in peace and joy and spread that. I think it's just so necessary right now that we have these tools. So when we go out into the world, we can be the change that we see, that we really do make a difference, with the peace that we have and the love that we have. And I really do believe, like you said earlier, we talk about touch. I do believe that love is really the ultimate healer.
Yes, I do. I agree with that. I had no idea what. If I can't pronounce it, I'm not going to really invest much time trying to figure out what it is, like jiu-jitsu, whatever.
Yeah.
What
Well, and that's been one of my concerns for quite some time, that it's intimidating people and it sounds like in the martial arts and, and so that's why a lot of times I just say Jinshin.
Yeah.
So it took me, so I came in the door with high touch Jinshin, and then I learned about Jinshin Jitsu, but I thought it was out of my reach. It was pretty expensive and you had to travel but in 2019, I went to Nashville and took my first 5-day basic Jinshin Jitsu class. And it is intense. And I was very grateful that I had my background with high touch, especially being taught anybody can do this. So I took the class with Carlos in Nashville, and then I went to New Orleans and took a class with Sarah Harper, another 5-day basic. And then I took my third 5-day basic on Zoom with Susan Swartz. And I've taken a number of other classes, and you actually have to, it's required that you have 3 5-day basics just to call yourself a practitioner. And so once I got that certification, which I wasn't even trying to get really, it just kind of happened, I suddenly realized how special it was to me. Now, granted, people take 5 and 10 and 15 and 20. I mean, practitioners we just keep coming back for more classes because we just keep learning at our level, and the camaraderie of being around other enthusiasts. But anybody can do it. But anybody can do it, and that's what I love about it is I can share a finger hold to you just like that, and now you can harmonize your respiration.
I have. Oh, yeah. No, I'm really thinking about this technique and using it on my family members.
Yeah, and that's what I encourage, and that's where that's why I started sharing it with each other, because I think it's kind of special to be able to take something that most people are not going to just go take a 5-day basic class. It costs almost $1,000 just to start learning. And so my aim, and there's a lot of other practitioners that are the same way. We're like, there's been a couple of branches that have come off, but and there's lots of freebie stuff on the internet, and thank goodness. And that's what I turn people onto. I'll send my clients videos from the internet and stuff. But on your family.
Yeah.
On yourself.
I feel like there's this bubble that I don't like to I mean, if you're my friend or something or sister but I don't like going. I've been learning Reiki, and I don't like practicing on people because I'm uncomfortable getting in their bubble. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I get in people's bubbles.
No, you do, but I'm saying I'm on the other spectrum of the other end of is like, I don't like to give a massage. I'm uncomfortable with it. And
it's not your thing.
Right, it's not my thing. And I usually say, well, I'm just lazy. Where's out my hands? I don't really want a massage. That's work. But you're mentioning something that's gentle, so maybe I could do it. That's
It's
what
very
I'm
gentle. It is.
thinking.
It's gentle, and it gives you direction, so it's a little more tangible. And that's what I'm wanting to do is help people be comfortable with just touching someone else. That's
That's
what I'm
what I'm
saying.
thinking. That I need to do that just with, with my loved ones here, because well, I do suffer sometimes with
Mhm.
corporal tunnel, and and yeah, and my hand just wears out.
I work on a lot of that kind of stuff, you know. I've worked on a lot of carpal tunnel with massage and you name
Yeah,
it, I've worked on a lot of different stuff, yeah.
but have an alternative to, if you have a partner that their love language is touch, you're
Mhm.
not doing it because you don't feel confident, or you just, you feel I feel limited because my hands wear out.
Right.
But this I mean, this is like giving me an idea that this may
Mhm.
be a way for me to communicate a love language,
Mhm.
and show and not wear out my hand. I'm just
Yeah.
talking about massaging the shoulders, okay?
Well, you know what's really cool? So there's some gentian holds on the shoulders that,
Yeah,
I've I've used gentian for pain. You know, a lot of my clients, people wanna come, they come and people come in and they want massage or they're like, "No, I really want all massage." And, that most people think that it's the massage that's gonna get rid of the tension and the pain. And, what I've learned is, everybody's nervous so many people's nervous systems are so rattled. Nobody's truly relaxing. And so not everybody can receive a massage. And I've had periods in my life where my nervous system and my adrenals were so exhausted that I couldn't receive a massage. To receive a massage would have been overstimulating to my system. And that and
yeah.
so I just didn't go receive any kind of touch of massage because I knew that would overstimulate me. And we're all kind of overstimulated as it is in our current culture. And so the Jinshin is gentle. And so I believe that we've evolved. I believe that our like 20 years ago, that deep work was really effective. But
Yeah.
nowadays, it's not as effective. It is more of a gentle. And I can do some deep, and sometimes people need a little deep to relax. But I always like to provide a relaxation experience, a nurturing experience, a nourishing experience. And that's what you can do when we learn to touch ourselves. We feel nurtured and we feel nourished. And so we soothe ourselves. And right now, we need to know how to soothe ourselves and we need to know how to soothe the people in our lives that we're close to.
Ooh, and thinking of what we just all went through, where we had to socially distance ourselves.
Mhm.
That
Yes.
we, yeah, the touch is, you know, we don't do it.
We were touch deprived before the pandemic. And so it's a major issue right now, being touch deprived. And, I'm single. And so it allows me to be able to nurture and nourish myself in a way that I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have otherwise.
Right.
It carries me through, and supports everything I'm going through. And then I just think we just live in these times where it's necessary that we have these abilities to help ourselves, get to know ourselves, and then with someone else, really be of service, of course, holding a hand, and so that's why I love this part two of the classes is, we're going to do it with each other.
Yes.
give you that little boost of confidence, you
Yeah.
know. And I keep the classes short, the first part's 90 minutes, the second part's only a couple hours, because I don't want to overwhelm people with a lot of information and just allow you to kind of.
It sounds like it's gonna, of course, I'm probably gonna keep this in because this is good. But I mean, I'll probably put this in. But it seems kind of like it's going to be a challenge for me.
How so?
Well, that touching other people.
So you're not required to participate in that with part
Yeah.
two, but this might be a way for you to break down some walls. But you don't have to.
But you said, no, I'm saying that, oh, I need to.
Yeah.
I need to. It's never connected this. I don't feel worthy. That's why I'm uncomfortable touching. I don't feel worthy.
Wow.
And it's not that I don't have lack of people offering
Hmm.
affectionate to me.
And that's another thing that could help, learning a little bit, like the fingers and the different things
Yeah.
is we're learning to nurture ourselves and love ourselves. And it does bring about a sense of worth. It does transform us from the inside out. Um, because it seems like we can do a hold where you like hug yourself.
Yeah.
Like you can like come up like this and hold right here and give yourself a hug like this. And
Yeah.
this releases oxytocin, which is the love hormone. So it helps with loving ourselves. And it harmonizes our whole being, past, present, and future. And we exhale all the way. And we just be. And we learn to just be. And it's not easy to sit still when we're used to moving. And
Yes.
this helps us be able to do that a little bit. And you can, and if that's uncomfortable, you kind of just keep it real simple like this. It's just kind of making that contact. And so when we make that contact with ourselves, we've not done this before like this. And so
Yeah.
take our time and we apply, a little bit, just daily right here, just holding like this and exhale. And so main thing is we don't overthink it. Oh, am I doing it right? Because the wonderful thing about it, Emily,
Yeah.
is no wrong when it comes to this. There is no wrong. There's no wrong. There is only benefit. And so we get in touch with ourselves and we love ourselves in that way through touch. And we all can bond and connect through touch. It'd be really good for first the relationship with ourselves and then the relationship with others. And
That
just
that I think is, yeah, I've got to work it with me.
do it now.
I said I've got to work it with me first.
Mm-hmm. And it's definitely been the foundation for myself. I mean, I wouldn't be who I am or what I am today without Jin Shin supporting me and transforming me to the inside out and I'm still growing, still evolving and just to be able to share with you and help you just take a moment.
No, I mean I've had a breakthrough
Oh,
during the show. I have, and I just realized. So thank you.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
for helping me have a breakthrough on something.
That's wonderful.
It is. It is.
It is because you're studying Reiki and
Yeah.
you may be learning some Jin Shin and it all goes together. It all goes
Yeah.
together.
I mean, yeah, I'm still debating whether or not Reiki's my thing. So maybe Jen's Shin will be my thing.
It could be, it's funny. A lot of people, you know, like a lady I was with at the camp out after the session, she really loved the session and she was like, I've thought about Reiki, but and I love, I've studied Reiki myself. And so
Yeah,
it's not an either or, they're not exclusive.
right, right.
But yeah, I mean, I I really enjoy the Jinshin. I mean, I'm partial to it.
I'm so glad you came on here because, like I said, I'm really pumped for this workshop now.
I would love to have you there.
I'm gonna have to go down to McGee.
45 minutes from Jackson, and
No,
I don't know why I was just really called to go there. Krista, told me about it, and I was going to Biloxi, and so I stopped there on the way and met her, and we decided to go for it, And
yes.
so I'll be doing some classes in the Jackson area. I'm hoping some people will host me. I love to be hosted, and but I'll schedule something somewhere and
Yeah.
keep going. But I do hope you make it. I think
Yeah.
you'll be surprised how simple I keep it, and I make it, and yet at the same time, it's interesting to someone who is a Reiki, who is studied.
Yeah.
It's interesting for them, and it actually helps. Yeah, I mean, Tracy Crosby held a class at her house, and I had all Reiki students.
Yes. I think. Well, plus I really haven't had much training. I just had level 1, so I still. I'm just at that point where I really don't know what to do. You know. But no, this sounds really fun.
So Hands of Earth Energy is the link for registration. And if you're on Facebook, you can find my Facebook page. There's information there. One River Wellness, Dottie Prestel. And I'll be creating an event here real soon to post as well.
All that, as well as on our events calendar, we've got the event theirs also. What's the significance of One River Wellness? And how did you choose that name?
So when I first started my business back in 95, 96, and I was working with sports, but I viewed everybody as a athlete, whether you were a, tennis player or a desk jockey, so to speak. And I worked tons of energies, and it was all about helping people to be able to perform in their life or in their sport or in their job. And over the course of my personal path, most of my life was very focused on the physical. And when I went through what I went through after the severe allergic reaction, my physical wasn't my physical like it used to be. And it helped me lean more into my spiritual and more grow my spiritual and lean into that. And it became more about being instead of doing. And the One River evolved because in Jinshin, the main central energy flow that goes up the back of the body and down the front, up the back and down the front. I share that in another class that'll be coming around probably in the spring. We call it the ancestral river. It's like the most ancient river there is. And so that's what this flow is, this energy pattern and the energy spirals up the back and down the front. It's like a river. And off this main central then flows into the left supervisor, and it flows into the right, and then to the mediator that goes back and forth. And then this flows and starts into all the energy pathways and flows in the body. And just like different systems of the body, we have different names for them, mostly for ease of communication.
Yes.
And that's how it is with there's a liver flow, there's a gallbladder flow, there's a third method of correction. There's all these flows, and I use textbooks. But so even though there's all these different flows that, the stomach the stomach turns into the spleen, and they go flow at different times of the day. Ultimately, there is only one flow of energy. And this one flow of energy that circulates through our body also circulates out into the universe. And so, whether we look at the macrocosm of the universe or down to the macrocosm of the human, there's only one flow of energy. We are all connected with this one river of energy. And that's how we named it. One river wellness for one flow. So we are all one. Connected through this energy.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you for asking. It's a
You're
lot.
Well, I so enjoyed, and I am just amazed that I was suffering with a little cough at the beginning, and I just grabbed my little finger the whole time, and you demonstrated it.
Yeah, I've clients that have taught their children things, hold this finger for a tummy ache or help. Yeah, and I just like to share it, and it's just
it's such wisdom.
I really, all the modalities I've studied, the names don't really matter, but it's ultimately that my aim is to create an experience, a sanctuary, a safe place from the outside world that someone can come in and just relax and be at peace.
That's how I felt. That's what I felt. You came. It came. I was relaxed this whole interview. Again, thank you for coming, and
Thank you, Emily. You're such a joy.
thank you.
You are.
Too. We'll see y'all later. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent.